Showers dampen the streets tonight in 5 Points and in the Vista. The rain blanketing the Midlands for most of the evening. Well, good evening on this very wet evening. I'm Alecia Barnes.
And I'm Rochelle Dean. We are live from Maine and Gervais. Now, we are still seeing some rain in some areas, but we want to know exactly how long it's going to last.
And let's find out if we're going to be waking up to the rain in the morning. Chief Meteorologist John Farley standing by in the Weather Center with more. John.
Yeah, we will see a little rain lingering into the morning, but most of it will be done with tonight. We start you with a shot down here. This is in the Vista. You see those streets are wet. The radar shows that we continue to see some on and off showers working their way in. The heaviest of it here into Lexington County. That will continue to push eventually through Columbia in the next about half an hour or so. Zooming back out, there are more showers working in from the south and west, so this will be on and off all night. And I do want to point out that in the eastern part of the Midlands, there were some pretty strong storms. In fact, a tornado, as it looks, touched down in Holly Hill, and it looks as though there was some damage on Pine Street. Of course, the National Weather Service will evaluate that in the morning, but things have subsided considerably since then. That said, go down into the PD. Check it out. This is a tornado warning. That storm right there heading toward Marion. So things are a little bumpy farther east of us, but for us, we're now just talking some showers. Let's give you a look at the temperatures here. It's relatively warm, upper 60s, low 70s still in place. The wind not that strong. It was stronger in places as some of those storms went through, but 10, maybe 15 miles an hour is all we're going to do overnight tonight. So here's a look at things. Again, a few more storms in here. We will get a little bit of clearing late. Tomorrow morning, a few showers, and then things will quiet down. A lot cooler. How about this? 68 degrees, 68 for a high. Haven't seen that in a while. Now we'll talk about the weekend forecast in just a bit. Over to you two.
All right, thank you so much, John. We have some good news tonight. Several bridges are back open in Clarendon County. Now, they were closed due to the flood of 2015. The bridges on Highway 301 north of Manning were reopened this afternoon, and the bridges were washed away when the Black River crested more than 10 feet above flood stage.
Flying over this stretch of highway in a National Guard helicopter in October 2015, and it looked like a big waterfall going on across the area that was behind us. So it's taken a long time, but we appreciate the hard work and the patience of our citizens. And now I'll have one question that I won't have to answer anymore is, when is Highway 301 crossing Black River going to open?
Yeah, that's right. It has been a lengthy project. Well, the bridges were destroyed more than 18 months ago.
Residents in Missouri are still trying to recover from devastating floodwaters that killed at least 2 people Wednesday. Heavy downpours left the area paralyzed, leading to the closure of nearly 300 roads. Multiple homes and businesses were severely affected. Forecasters say conditions along the Merrimack River appear to be improving now that the water is receding. And tonight, President Donald Trump is declaring the House passage of the GOP Care Overhaul Health Care an unbelievable victory.
That's right. Well, the House narrowly passed the measure that phases out the expansion of Medicaid. Now, it also allows states to opt out of the requirement that insurers cover some basic health services. Now, more on this tonight. ABC's Janae Norman has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Republicans taking their victory lap after finally squeezing their health care bill through the House.
Republicans came together all of a sudden 2 days ago. It was like magic. They just came together. They're very, very united.
The House GOP squeaking past the 216 vote threshold by the slimmest margin, just one vote.
The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
This, a major legislative win for President Trump, but what's it mean for you at home? This GOP bill could leave 24 million Americans uninsured over the next decade. According to the Congressional Budget Office, a 64-year-old earning about $26,000 a year would see their annual premiums spike by nearly $13,000. And the Republican bill allows states to opt out so insurance companies can charge more for people with pre-existing conditions. It would give states $8 billion over 5 years to help cover those people, but hundreds of patient and health groups and at least one insurance company say that's just not enough. By one estimate, 27% of Americans have a pre-existing condition, and in some states that number is even higher. More than 32% of people living in West Virginia, Mississippi, Kentucky, Alabama, and Tennessee, all states that voted for President Trump.
After 7 years, you came up with this? You gotta be kidding me.
Republican celebration in the White House Rose Garden may have been premature. At least one Republican senator said this bill has zero chance in the Senate as is. It will likely be changed before the House has to vote again. And remember, they don't have much wiggle room with votes. Janae Norman, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Meanwhile, our congressional leaders are reacting tonight. Democratic Congressman James Clyburn said in part, quote, repealing the ACA would once again institutionalize the kind of discrimination against the sick and aged that plagued hardworking families for generations. Senator Lindsey Graham weighed in as well, saying, quote, I look forward to carefully reviewing the House-passed legislation to repeal and replace Obamacare. My primary duty and job is to ensure this bill, if it were to become law, would be beneficial to the people of South Carolina. Well, tomorrow, conference committee could reach an agreement on the roads bill, paving the way for funding to repair the state's aging highways.
Here at home, the group aid agreed on a few elements of the roads bill today, but as our Gabrielle Franklin reports tonight, a lot still needs to be negotiated before the legislative session ends.
Representative Gary Summerall maintains the Senate's version of the roads bill involves too many tax components, taking away funding meant for roads.
I want to make sure is that when we are telling the public that we're putting money in a maintenance trust fund for highways, that is indeed what we are doing, that funding goes to highways.
Senator Larry Grooms is not on the conference committee, but he introduced many of the tax rebate aspects of the Senate bill. He says tax relief is necessary to avoid becoming a tax burden.
We need a roads bill that looks out for the taxpayer and adequately funds the DOT and has the reforms that are necessary so that the people will have confidence that their tax monies are being spent wisely. That is the beauty of the Senate bill. It accomplishes all that. And it also has a veto-proof margin as it came out of the Senate.
We adopt these sections that are identical as part of the conference report.
Despite their differences, both sides of the committee did agree and approve similar aspects of their bills, including creating an infrastructure trust fund exclusively for the transportation system, imposing biannual fees for hybrid and electric vehicles, and making the road tax an equivalent to the user fee. Committee members just agreed to disagree today, but they will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. For now at the State House, Gabrielle Franklin, ABC Columbia News.
Well, new tonight at 11, an upstate teacher is South Carolina's Teacher of the Year. Erin Fox was honored at the State House today, and Fox teaches English at Gaffney High School. The state education leaders say that she was selected in part for using her dance and musical background to create dynamic lessons for her students. And Fox says that she's accepting this honor on behalf of all South Carolina teachers.
The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouses of his bounty.
In every transgression that we made,
It will not return void, and as we turn
to honor each other and honor the imago Dei.
You're the hope to the hopeless.
I want them to see me as an advocate and a voice for them, and I want them to know that I'm going to work for them so that they can all have the resources that they need in their classroom to reach our students of South Carolina on the greatest level possible.
All right, congratulations, Erin. And now here's the best part. Here in South Carolina, as part of the Teacher of the Year Awards program, Fox receives $25,000 and she gets to drive a brand new BMW for 1 year.
Not too shabby. Also happening here at the State House today, many in the Midlands gathered to take part in National Day of Prayer. On the State House grounds, people could be seen bowing their heads and lifting their hands in prayer. The National Day of Prayer invited people of all faiths to pray for the nation.
Everybody is welcome. This is the National Day of Prayer, and we want everybody of every denomination to feel welcome when they come.
You're the hope to the hopeless.
The National Day of Prayer is observed each year on the first Thursday of May. President Trump also took part in the National Day of Prayer. The annual event was held this afternoon in the Rose Garden at the White House. The National Day of Prayer was created back in 1952 by a joint resolution of the United States Congress and signed into law by President Harry Truman.
A fight over legal fees has come to an end for former North Charleston police officer Michael Slager. Now, earlier this week, Slager pleaded guilty to violating the civil rights of Walter Scott during a 2015 traffic stop. According to federal court records, the same day the lawsuit he had against the Southern States Police Benevolent Association was thrown out. Some very sad news to report tonight. Riverbank Zoo says one of its female African elephants died today. Zoo officials say the 37-year-old elephant named Penny was euthanized after she fell and was unable to stand. According to zoo officials, Penny had been at Riverbank Zoo since December of 2001. Now, you may remember back last year in December, Riverbank Zoo lost another elephant. 44-year-old Petunia died because of deteriorating health.
Well, to the coast now, where last Saturday started out as the perfect day in Folly Beach.
And ABC's Caroline Bachunas shows us how it became a nightmare for a local surfer in a matter of seconds.
A breathtaking view.
I was just sitting there thinking, man, so gorgeous.
Followed by a breathtaking moment. Holly Dyer says a 5-foot shark grabbed her left foot as she floated on the water.
It was kind of like you were in a dream and you were screaming, but nobody could hear you.
She says it was over in a matter of seconds, but the shark left its mark.
When I looked at my foot and then the blood was starting to come down, a wave was coming in, so I just turned it towards shore and just boogie boarded it in, screaming at the top of my lungs the whole time.
Her foot is healing.
The lower part of the jaw just hit where my arch is and my heel. And then it just released out, so there was no tearing, no nerve damage.
It was the first shark encounter for the competitive surfer and the kind that inspired shark bands, a wearable magnetic device used to deter sharks. Founded by local entrepreneur David Garrison almost 3 years ago, tens of thousands are now sold worldwide.
It works very effectively to repel sharks that might be attacking somewhere around your foot level, exactly like what happened to Holly.
Today, Garrison gifted Dyer with a couple shark bands of her own.
That's our primary goal, is to reduce the risk and make you feel comfortable in the water.
It will be several weeks until she can surf again, but paddle out she will.
I mean, I'm definitely going to get back out in the water and just keep going. Don't let fear rule your life.
What a story.
I was going to say scary moments there.
Yeah, that was Caroline Bachunas reporting for us tonight. All right, we have a consumer alert for you to warn you about tonight. Do not open the Google's Docs email without verification.
That's right. The phishing scheme works like this. Now, if you click on the link, it takes you to a page to open the Google Docs app with your Google account. This grants access to your email account and your contacts. Experts say if you click the link, check your Google app permissions and remove the one called Google Docs.
Wow. All right, coming up next, a look at dealing with food allergies when eating out.
That's right. Plus, the most important meal of the day is giving breakfast a bit of a bite. We'll explain how you can get your caffeine fix without the brew. Next, live from Amy Gervais.
Not only is tomorrow your favorite day, it's Cinco de Mayo. Tune in for tacos, fun, and a whole lot of fitness to work off the calories. You'll see it all when you join us for Good Morning Columbia starting at 5 a.m.